Hello, everyone. Mantic Mystic Messages here. I'm here with a collective reading for June 2nd to the 8th, approximately. This is a general reading for all signs. I will pull cards specific to each zodiac sign. Check out the timestamps. You may find this reading resonates, although it is a general reading, not personal. Only take what resonates, and it could pertain to any area of your life: money, love, relationships, projects, whatever you have going on. So, first card out. Overall for the week, we have openness, and it's fan. So good omen, wishes coming true. And there's also something here about maybe a need to be calm. Right, beautiful card here. All the cards I use are in the description box. What else do we have? Dolphin, positive change. There's financial stability here, psychological comfort, so some sort of positive or happy person even in your life, some kind of new positive energy. Can also be, a need to have some fun, little reminder there. What else do we have? You also have harvest. My goodness, this is very positive. So we have basket here. There's possibly a new baby, some sort of abundance or material gain. Now, it doesn't have to be a baby human. I just saw 111 on the timer, and that's a great number for manifestation. So it could be that you're bringing to fruition, as you see, there's fruit there, something you're bringing to fruition. Maybe you're seeing fruits of your labor kind of paying off here too. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Seven of Pentacles. All right, one more. I hear the name Dylan. I am clairaudient, so I do get messages channeled throughout the reading. You have passion here, hot emotions and sexual desire, passion. So renewed process, something maybe being essential for spiritual growth. It does kind of remind me of a phoenix rising from the ashes, right? I'm also getting the month August, okay? So do with that what you will. You could find when I'm calling out things that are channeled that it's just somehow it's some sort of further indication for you. And these cards are not exactly wanting to stay straight. All right, let's go into the Cheeky Tarot. And this is by Danilo Sanino of White Fly Tarot. And there it is. I found them on Etsy. What do we have? Cheeky Tarot, what do you have for us, please, for the upcoming week? First full week of June. Had a nice new moon last week in Gemini. Happy birthday, Geminis. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting with this, when I was shuffling, I was getting that you're kind of a Knight of Pentacles in someone else's life. Maybe you're considered that sort of solid resource or support. So someone could be relying upon you for your skills, your knowledge of something. Even Knight of Pentacles can represent stability. It can represent, when you have it under openness, it can be some sort of good offer here. All right, because that does say it's a good omen with a potential wish coming true. You have the Four of Wands. There you go. Some of you may be graduating from something. There could be some sort of achievement. It is the 1111 card, and it does make me think of, things happening in the timing that they're supposed to happen, but it's falling under positive change. So there is some sort of happy occasion, happy outcome for some of you. What else do we have? And it's because you've put in the work. Okay, for some of you, and you'll notice the snail on the boot here on the armor, and that is like slow and steady, kind of, things not having to move quickly in order to have good results. What else do we have? I'm hearing studio gallery, so maybe some of you are going to a studio or a gallery, or you have one. You're an artist, perhaps. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. So needing to kind of decide, this is a card of focus too, and being able to handle what's going on, your priorities here. So having to kind of balance. As I said, I felt kind of like a Seven of Pentacles energy. And sometimes it's similar to the Seven of Pentacles in some ways, because it is sort of like where you're choosing to focus and needing to kind of assess if something's worth it or not. And so that's kind of tying into the Two of Pentacles in a way, because it's like, where are your priorities, So also, whoa, okay, we have lots of cards wanting to come out. I did see the Strength card coming out. I almost lost this whole pile, but that's Leo energy here. And it's interesting because you have this coming right underneath that Passion, Fire card, right? So this could be needing to kind of calm and soothe your own emotions. Remember, you did have fan there, and that is a card of kind of calming things down and remaining at peace and stable and all that. And also, one way to do this is through compassion. So you may find if something's difficult to, well, they're actually giving me shoe. My say they, I mean my guides. I was hearing something difficult to process, assess, swallow. Could be literal or figurative, but it's like have some compassion for yourself, for the situation, for all involved, because this isn't exactly easy. And remember too, there's just a little reminder I'm getting here from my guides to convey is that people, when faced with crisis or stress, and you may or may not find this to be true for yourself, but they tend to go to what they know. So that's just something to remember, because someone may be trying to help a situation by oversimplifying, and it's because that's the only way they know to that's the only thing they know to go to, or so it's just there's an interesting message there with that. So having compassion for everyone involved and knowing people are only, you can only meet someone as much as they meet themselves, or as deeply as they've met themselves. There's a quote, I don't know who says it, but there's something along those lines where people only know what they know, right? And you have the Two of Swords here, some sort of possible decision, but it's falling under openness and Knight of Pentacles. And I feel as though, again, someone's kind of relying on you maybe to make a decision for them, all right? Or you yourself are maybe finding yourself needing to be tuning into your own intuition here with this Two of Swords. It can be a difficult choice of some kind, some sort of difficult indecision or choice. Let's see. You may be wondering if you should move forward with something. I'm getting a card, Wheel of Fortune here. Yeah. So the Wheel of Fortune is this, something turning maybe in your favor, but you have to decide really with the Wheel of Fortune if you're going to, which direction that wheel is going to move in. It's not just, nothing's set in stone. You have to either, so I'm getting studying for a lot of you. Some of you are deciding to maybe study. I'm hearing intuitively go to Japan. So that could mean something for some of you. Maybe you're traveling, or potentially even moving overseas. Okay, there's something going on there. This can be a card of travel, the Wheel of Fortune. And it can also be it's just good fortune, success. It's tied to your destiny though. Okay, and you see the little ladybug here on this Four of Wands, and that is actually wishes come true, dream come true. So I feel as though for some of you, falling underneath this positive card, this positive change card that we received for our first second oracle card, is I feel as though there is some sort of positive change in the making, and you're going in a new direction. Some of you have outgrown a potential situation, all right, or your circumstances, and you're going beyond that. So, but this is actually, you may have completed a program of study recently too. You're graduating. Look at that. You have the Sun card. You'll notice I did have to kind of do a little censoring on the cards, unfortunately, but still beautiful cards, right? Extremely colorful and very expressive. So we have the Sun card, and it's very positive, excellent, and it's falling underneath Harvest here. And I feel as though if you choose to focus on the direction and on the situations and people, places, things that give you joy in life and add like life to your life, kind of are giving you, that you get energy from, and you choose to focus on more like what will help you grow in life and focusing on joy and things, you're much more likely to have a harvest in that way, and you're much more likely to reach your goals and overall to be more happy. Let's see what else we have. Again, that's another Leo card, so double Leo energy here. You may have a loved one in spirit, or you say this, or someone isn't in spirit, but they're just with you still, that says, oh, fiddlesticks. So I'm just getting that. I'm hearing sort of almost like a grandmothery energy type, oh, fiddlesticks. So there's that. You have the Three of Cups here. Look at the celebration here. You may be finding your group, finding, just overall happiness and where you feel that you belong even. This is another card of happy celebration, of socialization, even friendships, community, some sort of support. Let's go and let's see what else we got. Oh, okay, you have three now. So there is this three or four? We have three out, and then they want this one. Okay, so we have four. So we have Knight of Wands, Five of Wands, Eight of Swords, and nine. Oh, sorry, and a Nine of Wands. So you have the Knight of Wands here, and this is underneath that Knight of Pentacles, Two of Swords. And so this is going to be, uh, it can be bravery, this card. It can also be, it's kind of like, I feel like you're going in a direction that's unlike the past when I'm looking at the row that this, sorry, the column that these cards are in. The Five of Wands, you'll see there's a mole here. Moles are generally blind. So it's like I feel as though you're using your senses to work through some sort of difficulty, conflict. Let's see what else we have. We have the Eight of Swords. I find it usually when the Two of Swords comes out, usually the Eight of Swords is there too for whatever reason, but they both have the cards that have the blindfold on. And that doesn't mean a person's not seeing. It means that they're using a different way of seeing. They're using more their intuition. It does matter. Remember, I was talking just a moment ago about kind of this optimism, almost like with the sun, and what's going to help you the most in life as far as focusing on what brings you joy, what makes you happy, what makes you feel more alive and energizes you. That's where we should be focusing our attention. And the Eight of Swords is sort of making sure you realize you're not actually trapped, you're not stuck. And basically with these cards here, it's like focusing on the control you do have and what you can change and things you can implement that will help you. The Nine of Wands, another card with, now there's a bandage on the head. And I feel a lot of you really do have a lot going on mentally, as far as things you may be thinking about, thinking over. The Nine of Wands is a card of, persistence, perseverance, and really not backing down. It's similar to the Seven of Wands. It's not exactly the same as the Seven of Wands, but they can both signify that it's time for you to stand your ground and keep some boundaries. All right, even in a group of friends or family. Clarifying again, there's the Two of Wands. So some of you may be thinking of maybe going out on your own with something, or again, this could be considering some sort of plan or travel even. I just wonder, some of you may be thinking, oh, should I go back to something? And that's really, I always feel like if you have a chance to do something new, maybe it's a good idea. Because going in the old is, let's get a card on that. Going back to the past is Queen of Wands here. Oh, wow. Okay, so the Nine of Swords, sorry, and the Queen of Wands. So this is like, going back to something. And I feel like that could be causing a lot of worry and a lot of stress here. It could be not really having confidence based on your past. Okay, this is a separate message. It's kind of, I wanted to get out ultra specific on a certain situation. And if you're feeling as though, gee, I wonder if I should go back to this old job, relationship, town, whatever, I'm getting that could be a big source of worry right now. And I just feel that be confident in what you have coming in the future. This Five of Cups here, the person's still focusing on what they lost. You need to focus on what it is you're wanting to achieve. They need to turn around and see that Two of Cups here, that there can be fulfillment. Maybe something will be even better than in the past. Again, it's like attitude is everything. If you feel as though you're, brave like this Queen of Wands and ready for something new, try it. Because what do you have? What comes after the sun? You have this optimistic attitude. The sunflowers turn towards the sun, right? There's a scientific name, not a scientific name for it. I forget what it is, but anyway, it's like, where are you turning your attention? And it's kind of like, in a way, we sort of not in a way, we make our own reality based on the thoughts we have. And our attitude, and we really can control a little more than we realize here. But there's something about needing a new perspective, maybe. Yeah, there's another card of nostalgia. I really feel some of you are kind of digging into the past, or you're almost wondering, why haven't I had a certain success, or where is my life going? I'm getting sort of this lack of direction. Yeah, there's the Five of Swords, wanting to come up maybe with a new strategy, something different than maybe even what you've done in the past. There's the Moon card. I almost thought it was the Tower. There's the Moon, and that can be like you're. I feel like sometimes we're acting out of fear, and even if you're a Queen of Wands and you're this brave, like determined, passionate person, I do feel that we all have a tendency to slip into that Nine of Swords and Five of Cups and kind of dwell on things, and just look at what went wrong and kind of expecting that. And that's like, don't fall into that trap of the that kind of moon energy there, where it's illusions and fear making the decisions. Like, act out of more like that Sun card, the joy here. And it could mean too that there needs to be some sort of major change, major alteration. Okay. The sun and the you have the sun and the moon now in your reading, and I feel like for a lot of you, it really is, it's like eclipse energy, right, with the moon and the sun, and it's like really shining a spotlight on areas of your life that really have not yielded that harvest, that positive change, and what are you passionate about? I feel as though if you lean more into your Queen of Wands energy, and again that sun energy and strength energy, a lot of fiery energy, I feel that's actually going to get you more where you want to go than going back into the past. This Knight of Wands heading the opposite direction here. I feel like you could really kind of get yourself in this like Five of Cups kind of regret and loss, and kind of stick there, and you don't that's not an energy that's going to help you in any way. It's not going to help you grow. You have the Eight of Wands, right? You want that forward momentum. Okay, we want the forward momentum. How are we getting ourselves out? Queen of Pentacles. So what makes you feel most like connected? Yes, but where do you feel your resources are best spent? Your time, your energy, your efforts, and really nurturing those aspects of your life. Really, really taking stock, really too, and being pretty like almost practical in a way, coming at things from a very grounded uh, place. And where's the energy feeling most fertile? We have the bunny here, and I feel like a lot of you just know, it's like if you're around a certain situation, work wise, or a certain group of people, and you're feeling drained and exhausted, well, then that's probably not, like, that's not helping you in any way, right? If you're feeling like you're in your Nine of Swords nightmare energy, that's not going to be very conducive to helping you access that sun energy. And then your other card, oh my goodness, now we have three queens. You've been getting three queens a lot lately. Actually, that's over on my Libra channel School Less Intuitive. But there have been a lot of queens coming out. So you have the Queen of Cups, and it's like, how you feel about something, and I'm almost getting, what's the holdup? What is it that's holding you back? Is this a genuine concern, something you really need to worry about, or is it like moon energy, and because you don't quite know something, it's almost like you go back, as I was saying earlier in the reading, we go back to what we know. Are you expecting something not to work out because it hasn't yet to this point? That's an energy you want to watch out for. You want to watch out for that deception, that Eight of Swords, feeling trapped and stuck. The Nine of Wands, it's almost like, succumbing to the stress of something. Nine of Swords, Five of Cups, living in the regret. Knight of Wands also can be someone who's kind of overly, like egotistical, almost reckless, too, a little too free spirited at times. And you want to be more in that energy of like, you are the authority on your life, and you know things, and you know what works for you and what doesn't, simply because you know what feels right and what doesn't, and even what logically makes sense. Sometimes it's just you don't have enough time in the day to be giving to everybody and everything all around you at the expense of yourself. So making sure you're making time for what it is that you love. You have the Page of Swords. For some of you, it could actually be learning something new. Maybe you're I just want to tell you too, you're never too old to like try that thing, or to go about or to set yourself on a new path. You're never too old. Okay, so don't let age get in the way of something. I feel some of you may be thinking about that, maybe thinking about how age is this factor, and that's not all that decides what we want to do. Okay, you have the Four of Swords here. Maybe it's time to retreat for a little bit, get clear on something, um, lean into your spirituality, meditation, things that bring you calm and peace, and help you to feel more centered. There's a lot of heart activation here in this reading too. There's it's like not just heart activation, but again, passion. Where does your passion lie? And you have Judgment card, and this is a decision only really you can make. Some sort of clarity, awakening, some sort of decision you need to make regarding this complete turnaround, even for some of you in your life. It's like you're getting, I don't want to necessarily say it's a second chance, but for some of you, you might be starting anew in some way. Um, so these people on the cards here, they're rising up from the coffins, and it's like there's a new time has arrived, and this is an opportunity for you really to have this turnaround. There's a turnaround energy here that I'm getting in this reading, but there are some things to watch out for. And let's just look into, I want to get sort of like what do we need to surrender to? Is there anything we need to surrender to? So this could be just a big week of big decision this week for you. And I do get almost a turnaround in a way, because I feel like some of you may be coming out of sort of this like low kind of feeling energy, and things could be looking up. You may have a clearer path or more of a plan of how you're going to do something. Surrender to your full power. Yeah, that makes total sense, with the Eight of Swords and all that, not feeling like a victim. And it's actually connected here to this lion, both connected to 8. There's something here about you creating your own abundance. So this is, your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. Some of you are taking the safe route, and maybe again only leaning into what you already know or how things have gone up to this point, because it's not that you're afraid of success, but it's like maybe you don't have a lot of experience with it. Maybe things haven't been super successful, and you're kind of playing it safe so that you don't get hurt and disappointed. Surrender to the wisdom of your body. So listen to your body's messages about a person or a situation. Yes, and I already said this in your reading. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you're energized and happy, move forward. That summarizes the entire reading. What brings you the most joy? Not just joy, but what gets you excited? What energizes you? As I've already said in the reading. So I love these cards for this reason. They're always so on point. So if you feel drained, it's like I said, there's not a whole lot of like assessing even anymore that needs to go on. If it doesn't make you happy, don't do it if you don't have to. That's kind of the overall simplistic bit of advice here. All right, what else do we have? You have surrender to effortlessness. So stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. Okay. You know how they'll say like something isn't as it seems? I feel like for this, something is as it seems. It like you already know that something isn't working, or like I said, what it is you need to kind of eclipse out. Let's see, any sort of money blocks, abundance blocks here. You have odd jobs. Okay, so this is about career. So consider creating multiple streams of income. Second job, odd job. Freedom's more important than financial security, this says. So sometimes it's okay to take a transition job, even if it doesn't lead to a career. So remember that as you're trying to make this decision that you're making. Spell work here. So this could be using magic spells or manifesting power being strong. Remember, I did see 111 at the beginning of the reading. So this is about be wary of casting the wrong spell or if someone's giving you the evil eye. So in other words, protect your energy, okay? You don't have to believe in spells and all that. It just, yeah. Be careful of what you're manifesting at this time. And what else do we have? Self-made. So this is about you being successful or rich by your own efforts. Sometimes you must be obsessed in order to be successful. Okay. This says you're underutilizing your strengths and advantages. So taking stock of and taking pride in like what you do have. All right, let's see what else we have. Let's go a little bit into relationships. Love of any kind, doesn't have to be romantic. What do we need to know this week? Soulmate. So this has been coming up a lot lately, this notion of soulmates. So partnership, soul contract. So a soulmate could enter your life to offer support as you grow and evolve together in this lifetime. I don't know about you, but for me, my soulmates, a lot of them are animals. All right, and then you have photograph here. So someone's missing you. You did have that 6 of Cups here, so some sort of nostalgia. You could be missing someone or thinking about, how life was so much simpler when. So someone from your past could be returning, hoping to restore what once was, giving you a chance to revisit old emotions. Yeah, there definitely is this energy of kind of thinking things over, and even an energy of like regret and did I do the right thing? And so that could be something that comes in this week. And then there's turning point, breaking point. So what's been brewing deep inside can no longer be concealed. A shift is being forced to bring positive change. Yeah, that's that judgment card, I feel. And I thought I saw the tower, but I didn't. So it's kind of like I get not necessarily that there's a tower, but I do get that there's a real turning point coming in. All right. There is, and it's sort of like again, a big decision as far as the whole direction of your life potentially. Let's get a high vibe card. See how do we keep our vibrations high during this week. You have 2 cards. You have emotions. Feel your emotions, be with them, honor them, process them, and then move on and enjoy your life. And then you have smiles. Smile at someone, look them in the eyes, see an amazing human creation. Miracles are everywhere in the form of every person you meet. All right. And we'll get a numbers card, and then we'll go into cards for each sign. You have 222, a sign of expansion. Your spirit, mind, and soul are growing. There you are. And for each card, let's get an animal card. Or for each sign, we'll get an animal card. So we'll go through all 12 zodiac signs, beginning with Aries. So what do we have for Aries? Aries, the upcoming week, you have Kingfisher. Embrace moments of quiet reflection and meditation to connect with your inner knowing. That's Aries. Taurus. Cheetah. Use a combination of speed and adaptability in this situation. You'll be unstoppable, Taurus. Gemini, you'll get 2 since it's your birthday season. Elephant. Self-care is a journey of self-love. Prioritize it, and you'll find strength and tranquility in each step. And also, Dolphin. Oh, so second dolphin in the reading. Find wisdom in moments of fun and laughter. Take time out to have fun and go with the flow. Cancer. Camel. Your perseverance will lead you to the waters of renewal and lush oasis of opportunity. Yay, Cancer. Actually, Jupiter is going into Cancer, June 9th? And that's like considered very lucky. Jupiter does well in Cancer. All right, so this is for Leo. Badger. With determination and persistence, you can dig deep to uncover your true potential. Virgo. Rhinoceros. Protect your well-being and stand up for what you hold dear. Embody the warrior within, Virgo. Libra. Hedgehog. Your boundaries are your armor and your protective shield against negativity and evil. Okay, so Libras are being told too to protect their energy. Okay. Scorpio. Meerkat. It's time to be with your people. Stand together, watchful and united. You are not alone in this, Scorpio. Sagittarius, red panda, otherwise known as firefox. Create balance in your life by harmonizing your inner and outer worlds. 100% alignment is key. Capricorn, leopard, embrace your wild, confident nature and conquer any terrain with elegance and courage. Aquarius, panda, with your positive attitude, you can unlock an inner and outer peaceful sanctuary. And zebra, honor your uniqueness as a celebration of the diversity of life. You belong here. That's what I have for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please do like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.